we talk about gods and demigods, they better show up, or I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time.
So you're not familiar with ancient Kemetic science, the ancient Kemetic teachers?
No, and I'm open. I'm open
Okay,
because that's us.
that's
You
where
see what I'm
that's
saying?
where all the religions, not a lot of most of the religions come up out of
Come from.
ancient Egypt.
Right,
Egypt is the term that they go by today, but the
right.
proper name
Kemet?
is Kemet. Yeah, Kemet.
Right. I'm familiar with that,
You know,
right.
the
And that's
ancient
what I mean.
Egyptians.
That
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. That's what I
Hmm.
mean. That's what I mean. Don't get me wrong. We taught the sciences, the math, the
Right.
mathematics. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Oh no, yeah. And going all the way
Mhm.
back. That's right.
Okay,
Stole
so I want to
from ancient
welcome.
Egypt. But I
I
don't
want to
believe
welcome.
it is fact. I don't believe any of the gods, whether it's Horus. I don't believe none of that to be fact.
Okay.
All imagination.
All right. All right. Good. I want to welcome to the channel, to the platform. We got Yara Black Sage. He is indeed a Hebrew Israelite. And we got Rock Hufu in the building. What up, Rock Hufu?
What up, family?
All right. Let's go to Yara first. The Black Sage is in the building. What up, Black Sage?
Hey, peace and blessings to you, family. Shout
What's
out
up,
to you,
Israel?
Son.
Israelite?
What's good? What's good, family? Shout out to our good brother, Sean. Is it Sean?
Yes.
Sean Towers? I see
Yeah,
Sean
you
Scott
can
up
go with
there.
the towers,
Sean
brother. Go with the
Towers.
It's
towers,
Sean
trust me.
Towers.
Okay, Sean Towers. I appreciate you, Misha. And Rakufu, what's good with you, good brother? I see you
Peace.
repping them. You see you repping them Lions today, man. I see
We
you.
we going Raven hunting Monday. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. I see you, man. It's all good. But at the end of the day, yeah, man. I was just listening a little bit to you, brother Towers, and I wanted to ask you specifically about. You made the statement, I believe, that you're not an atheist. I appreciate that statement. Um, and if you're not an atheist, I believe you said you do believe in God. You just don't know how you
Um,
would call God,
I'm
what you would call it
I
or define it.
Right. I guess what to clarify, I'm more when we talk about the attributes of the gods, at least that we read about in books, it seems that we as human beings, when I look in the mirror, I'm more of a god than these gods. But when it comes to supreme being or higher power, intelligence, I'm suspicious of such. I can't at this point in my life just say I don't believe that there is something more.
Oh,
I think that there is. I don't know.
okay. So
See that?
so
That's like my answer, Black Sage. You know you hear me.
yeah. It's just as bad. But
Yeah, it's
I'll
the most
say.
honest position because I
Yeah,
want to hear
yeah,
it.
yeah. So
Hear what's out there.
I would also say I don't want to command the time. So you don't believe that there is a higher intelligence outside of humanity itself?
Um, all right. I don't find any evidence for a higher form of intelligence that interacts with humanity. It puts you that way, where there's just like personality and caring, um, uh,
Mm.
things of that nature. Like really give a damn whether like how I raise my son. You know,
Hmm.
yeah. It's just when we get into these human attributes that I said no, because you have to be able to demonstrate how you know that.
Yeah, we're gonna demonstrate how you would know that.
Yeah, how you know that God is, has human
Okay.
attributes.
Okay. So do you think, well, as far as human attributes, I don't think God carries human attributes. I think it's in the reverse, that at times that man reflects attributes of their gods. And so that in regards to, let's say let's say murder, for instance, right? Or killing, or not killing, but murder, rape, um, deceit, lying, dishonesty. You think those are natural attributes of humanity?
The some of it, yes, some of it, and I'll explain what I mean. Like for instance, I would say even if I didn't understand a mother's language, you could take any mother from anywhere around the world, and they can hold their infant. If you snatch the infant out of their arms, you're going to get a universal response. It doesn't matter, right? So that's that natural response. When it comes to things like the difference between murder and we as human beings, we have come up with laws as societies. That's what we do. I think they're needed. And so if the question is and I'm thinking we're leading that way. Maybe my moral foundation is like, well, where if it's wrong, why don't how can I say it's wrong if I don't believe in a God? Like, where does this come from? Do you think, Sean, is that kind of like natural? And so, if that's the question, much of it, yes, absolutely, is natural. And then we can find morality in the animal kingdom. We can move from humans and find dogs trying to scoop fish into the water to get them wet because they're going to die. We see this care without a book or God belief.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Just a few more seconds, Sonny, because I want to explore that. Um, I can't hear you, Si. Your mic is muted.
Yeah, you can take your time. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I didn't want to hog because I know Brother Rakufa was on the stage. Um, so in that, why do we see differences in moral character and moral behavior from human to human,
Yeah.
or nation to nation, tribe to tribe, ethnicity to ethnicity, community to community, religion to religion? Why do we see differences in moral beliefs?
Mm. Yeah, that's a good question. I was a police officer, for those that know, for 15 years. And I remember this
Uh,
time when my I was in investigations and my partner had arrested a young man from Mexico. And the charge was statutory rape. He was about 32. If I'm not mistaken, she might have been 15, something like that. And so his position was, and he was sincere with this. His position was, "What are you guys doing? I've done nothing wrong. We're going to be married. I love her. She loves me." She was crying too. They were separated, but she was crying. We interviewed her because she wanted to be with him. He said, "In my country, it's no problem." So my partner said, "You're not in your country." And so when we talk about differences and behaviors throughout cultures, it's going to differ because we have different cultures and practices that we have passed down in our respective cultures. And so when it comes to a God belief, here's the thing that is interesting to me. You have around the world creation stories, whether it's from Asia, whether it's from a different continent or whatever, and their gods that they make up tend to look like them. Makes sense, except for in the situation with us and slavery and all that stuff, colonization, and us getting given the white image of God. But that's my answer. You're going to find difference in how worship is done, how people perceive worship. Some people don't believe in worship at all. The God idea is what really got me thinking, why do we even believe in gods? Is this quest that I'm on even right now. Why do I don't feel that way. I don't feel I need a God, but I did before. Because this is something that is a phenomenon. It's never going to go away. We always going to believe something. My thing is I don't have evidence to prove that your God is the real one. And we just have debates and stuff like that. And that's cool, but it does nothing for reality.
So ultimately, going back to your example you gave of the gentleman that you're arrested from another country who had a different view of morality, right? So then you don't see any difference of what's considered to be what's right versus wrong.
Yeah, we have, you remember, right? So I want to answer a question probably that you didn't ask that I kind of hear in there. Morality is subjective.
Mm.
When what I mean by that is what may be more or moral in his country, it was not moral in this one. I don't eat rat. I don't eat dog. In other countries, it is totally acceptable and totally normal. Okay. And so that's what happened to me when I was introduced to world religion. I was steadfast on what I believed was true and I was ready to die. I wanted to be a martyr. So people like you hear them jokes about running in church and all right, who believe in Jesus when everybody run out? And we say, okay, now we can have some real church. I wanted to be the one that's standing there and say, yeah, he's real to kill me because I believe that much. But I was sincerely wrong.
Yeah. So
Morality is
so
subjective, but
so morality. If you believe morality is subjective, then you truly
certain
can't.
ones, certain aspects of morality.
Yes, certain aspects of morality. So then you truly can't stand on what is right versus wrong if it's
That's
simply
preposterous.
subjective.
No, it's
If
preposterous.
if what's right is right to me and what's wrong is wrong to you, then you're saying I really can't really make
Well,
that
that's why.
argument.
we as humans, that's how we form societies and maintain the peace. We come together and we have these discussions. It's been forever. That's philosophy. We sit and we talk. Okay, we figure out how to get along so that we can preserve life. What is more better for me and you as a believer and a non-believer? I think that it's best that we have calm discussions like this, not throwing no rocks at your car, scraping your car up or something like that. Then you want to get mine and we going back and forth. And so it is human nature to be hit on the head with a stick, a reed or rod, and it hurts, and you look at the other one and respond. At some point, we find commonality. That's what we get laws and in different societies, and it works for the most part. It's not perfect, but I definitely can say that the God of the Bible in the story, which I don't believe, was filthy wrong for killing the firstborn boy of Egypt.
Okay,
Period.
so
And I don't need any religion to stand on to say that as a human being. And you a better man than that God.
well, I
To do what he
disagree.
did.
I disagree. I disagree wholly with your logic, and let me tell you
Okay.
why that is,
Go
and why
ahead.
your argument fails. Right?
Go ahead. And they gotta fail now. We gotta agree in the comments.
We don't actually have to, but again, let's say this, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you disagree with pedophilia?
Yes,
Why?
because it is wrong. And I naturally
Why?
know
Who
it. I
told
never
you it
read
was
it.
wrong?
Watch
Who
this.
told you it was
Just watch
wrong?
this. Let me tell you why. I don't play those games, bro. It's wrong just like I know it's wrong for a grown man to touch my child. Nobody has to tell me that. I
Why not?
instinctively know it,
But
brother.
are there no
Bro.
you hold on? You
Go ahead.
instinctively know that, but the
Huh?
next man, hold on,
Go
but the
ahead.
next man may not instinctively know that.
Well, then we have
Why is
medication for
that?
that, brother. We
No, no, no,
have
no,
a
no,
way to
no, no, no.
address
Wait
that
a minute.
type.
Wait a minute. Not you said no. Why is that? Because there are cultures that practice that.
Well, wait, no. When I'm talking about, I'm going to be specific. I ain't talking about a 30-year-old and a 15-year-old. I'm talking about like I have an infant. There are people that play with babies, and I hate to even think about what they do. What I'm saying is nobody had to tell me that was wrong.
Why?
Once the age of reason, bro,
But
nobody
why you
had to
not
tell
talking?
me.
But
Nobody
why
had to
you
tell me
not?
to love my mother.
But why you not talking about a 30-year-old and a 15-year-old? You think that's okay?
No, it's not okay. No,
So
but
why did
listen,
you say
that's
that?
subjective, brother. Don't you understand? I just gave you an example.
Exactly.
In
You're
his
saying that's
country, listen,
subjective.
but
How
listen,
can you argue
listen,
against someone's
listen,
Hold up. Let
subjective
him go, Yara.
listen.
Let him
Here's
go.
why
opinion,
it's
though?
subjective, brother. I don't think you get where I'm coming from. That which is subjective means that it may one thing may mean this to that man, and in this man it may mean something different. Listen, in America, in the United States of America, I was born here, and in my family, I was raised a certain way.
Uh
There's
huh.
things you don't do. But then in another country,
Uh
they're
huh.
raised a different
Yeah.
way. You're
Yeah.
30, she's 15. So what? How old was this
I
Mary
I
when the
I
Holy
I
Ghost came
agree.
into her?
I listen. I agree with what you're saying. What I'm
Right.
asking you, how can you label which one is right and which one is wrong?
Biological reasoning.
There you
Okay.
go.
How does logical reasoning tell you what's right versus what's wrong?
Brother is nature. It's just
So
observe.
nature.
It's that. Yeah. You observing. Listen, the scientific method. Do you know what that is? It just goes like this. It's
I
real
know what a
simple.
scientific method is,
Well,
but
I'm gonna
how
make it
are you
real
going to give
simple.
me one in
I'm gonna
regards to
give you your answer.
morality?
Listen, you know things, brother. Simply, but listen. So the scientific method is just observing. We're observing a phenomenon, and we let the data speak to us. We don't start naming it and saying this or that. Before your religion or whatever it is that you believe in, morality existed, and it was still. Also, there is no objective morality that we can stand on and say this is for every human being. Ha, watch this. I feel hypocritical because I say you cannot stomp out a baby's head. They thought it was okay to do it to ours, feed ours to alligators while believing in a God. And so it's like, I am a human being and that's enough. I don't need a book. I know it's right. I know. That's why I can live right next door to you. We have a good time. I have no problem. I probably could throw a party. I DJ and stuff like that. We have great conversations. We'll never have an issue unless you try to hurt or harm me or vice versa. And so where can you demonstrate that a non-belief in a God will affect someone's morality when you do your research on the federal prison system and you'll find that over 80% are Abrahamic believers, Christians, Muslims, and others. Show me where non-believers are committing all of this crime. Because if a God belief equals some type of peace or morality, we wouldn't have God-fearing people locked down on death row.
Well, actually, that's not true.
Brother,
So
look it up. I'm not
hold
making
on,
it
hold
up. Look up
on,
what it
hold
says. I
on,
said
hold on,
federal
hold
prison
on,
system.
hold on, Hold on. You stated just a moment ago, morality has always existed.
Right.
You just said that.
Yeah, in the animal kingdom. Yes, I
No,
did.
no, 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 no,
I
no,
know
no.
what I
I'm not.
said, bro.
Listen,
I
listen,
gave that.
listen, listen, listen,
You
listen.
ain't
I
gonna
didn't
twist my words.
listen, brother. I'm not twisting your
All
words.
right. Good.
I didn't ask you about the animal kingdom. I
Homie,
asked you about
well, that's my
humanity.
answer.
Listen,
Morality existed.
it exists. It
Yes.
has always existed within
Yes.
humanity.
We are part of the
Yes.
animal kingdom.
Yes, that's
Hold
right.
on, hold on, hold on, Kufu.
Yes.
Hold on, Kufu. Morality has always existed within humanity. That's
That's
your
right.
statement,
That's
right?
right. Yes.
If that is the case, then from the beginning, are you saying there's no evidence of murder or ill will towards another human being? And when did immorality set in?
Brother,
If
see,
it had
this is,
always existed.
you know the answer to that. Here's the answer. We do not have a time that we have ever in the history of humanity had a time where we were not killing. That's not it. What we've
I didn't
done
say
is
anything about killing. I said
murder.
murder.
Well, murder, bro. Whatever. It exists as long as humans are on this earth. That's what's
Uh-huh.
going to happen. That's why we
Okay.
Uh-huh.
come up with laws and stuff,
Let
right?
me get in this real quick. I want to
No, no,
say.
hold on,
Oh,
hold on, hold on, hold on. I'm gonna bring you in.
okay.
Hold on for a minute. I gotta ask this question coming from Pastor Bennett. I don't know what he's trying to do with this question, but Pastor Bennett, Sonetta, ask him for me. Is men stealing according to Christianity? Is stealing a sin according to Christianity? Then ask him, did white slave masters give our ancestors biblical history? Is stealing a sin according to Christianity?
Who you talking to?
I'm asking you, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. Me? Yes.
Yeah.
Sin. Yes. That's right.
Okay. Then he said, then ask him, did the white slave master give our ancestors biblical Christianity? Did they give them biblical Christianity?
Yes.
Okay, there's your answer, Pastor Bennett. Yes and yes. All right. Let's go to you, brother Rakufu.
All right. So I wanted to say to the brother and Black Sage, we have a balance, so to speak. Maybe it's imbalanced at certain times and aspects and stages, but it's immorality and it's morality because we had the Roman civilization that had pedophilia. They was walking around normal with kids on their arm. So every society ain't the same morality. And
Yeah, I
here,
agree.
all right, and then here in America, a lot of stuff is shadowed. Like you being an officer, Sean, you should know they had over 300,000 child marriages in America. And they consume them. They consummated at 10-year-old girls with old men right here, right now, up to 2024. But when you do it
Sound
outside
like
of
the
marriage,
Bible.
yeah, when you do it out, it probably was. But when you do it outside of marriage, it's called pedophilia, on Figueroa Horn, or the blade, excuse my language, stuff like that. So it's all about signs and symbols that make one thing moral and the other immoral, but it's the same age.
Mhm. And then you have us as people,
Exactly, exactly.
here's something I'm gonna say is not really popular. Like, first of all, we probably all feel the same way about pedophiles, but once again, right, from an education perspective, I forget the name of the organization, but this is an organization over all psychologists. They license them and all that stuff. So, and there's this handbook of different, I believe, disorders, and pedophilia being one of them. Right. And there's these group of individuals that know that they're attracted to children. So what they do is it's this organization where they go to, and they got around the clock help because they know it's wrong, but they got this desire, almost like someone who would say, well, homosexuality is a choice. Well, what do you tell that? How do you tell that to someone who has felt attracted to the same sex as long as they can remember? And so we have a horrible scenario because we ain't trying to hear men
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah,
nothing. We
yeah.
touch one of our kids. We ain't trying to hear that, but that's another aspect. That's
So I had a question for you. My question
Yeah,
is
hold on,
this.
hold
Oh,
on for
I
a
didn't.
minute.
Okay, okay, okay.
Pastor Bennett, the link is in the top. You could come in because I don't know what you meant by that. I don't understand what you think you did, brother. Maybe you could come in and explain it more. Go ahead, brother Rakufu.
Okay, so it's Brother Sean, right? That's who the name of the panel
Yeah,
member is.
Sean.
Yes,
Sean.
sir.
Sean.
Brother Sean.
So Sean,
Sean.
my question. Yeah, so my question to you, because you seem to be very studied in biblical teachings as well, because you did a lot of Bible at first, and I know Ray Higgins, good dude. But I wanted to ask you this: um, you notice how it tells you about the firmament and how the earth was created in this amount of time, and it was darkness, and he created light, like the giving you the cosmic reality of origins in the biblical tense, right?
Yes, sir.
But the thing is, the whole Bible from the Hebrews, from my understanding as I'm studying it now, the Hebrews as well as the Christians, the popes and all of them, they followed pagan beliefs and taught that the Earth was the center of our solar system, and they was even helping to kill Copernicus. And nowadays we find out the sun is the center. So is this
Yeah.
God teaching ignorance to us till he learns from a higher God? Like, how did that work?
Right, and those are one of them things, man, that makes for great speculation and great conversation. Shit, ain't got no answer to it. That's
I
that's
mean,
that's that's great conversation right there.
But that
You have some
but
drink,
the sun is the center of what?
but
of
yeah,
all 9 planets in our solar sun system.
oh wait, okay, I missed that part. All right, so
Yeah,
we're
he missed
finding
that
out
part.
that
He
our
missed that part.
universe is far
Yo,
more
he funny black.
I
no,
like saying,
the center. No, the sun ain't no center of nothing.
okay,
No,
okay,
yeah, and so I am not a cosmologist or anything like that, but I'm like you, like still studying,
yeah,
finding out how vast our universe and the idea of multiverse, the reality of this freaking idea, that is more than just the idea is being studied right now. Like, man, the vastness of our universe is beyond our brain's ability to comprehend.
exactly. But see what we missing? We talking about our particular galaxy, our
Okay,
solar
I
system, the
got you.
9 planets like
I
Jupiter,
got you.
Pluto. They
I
all
got you.
revolve around the sun, and they
I
used to
got you.
teach. Yeah, and the
I got
Christians
you.
used to teach that it all revolved around the earth, like the old pagan Jupiters and all of them temples.
Right.
And they only found it out until Copernicus came and said, hold up, we are a heliocentric people. The sun is the center, and the 9 planets all revolve. Jupiter, Plato, Mars, Venus, all of them, Earth, they all revolve around the sun. It looks like the sun is rising because the Earth is turning and the sun is getting further away. It looks like it's not rising. It's stationary in the center.
You know, those things can actually make me cry. I'm just listening to you talk, right? Because I don't need religion. I don't need fabrication. The awe of our reality is enough. It's
Yeah.
like I'm just listening to that, man. Like that's that thing that made me, I'm 54. So it's like they say what life expectancy for a male is about 70. I'm gonna live past that, hopefully. But I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, that give me like 16 years. But there's an excitement about it because you know what I hope for y'all on this panel. This is what I hope, that all truths are revealed. Like to know. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, know what, Sean? Damn it, I don't know. I want to start with it. What is the it behind? Is there really an it? You know what I mean? And then I want to know what is this? We are amazing individuals, like human beings. You know?
For
Yeah.
real.
Ye- Yeah, but at the end of the day, the Bible teaches nothing to what Rakufu just said. It doesn't teach that the sun was the center of the universe. The Bible doesn't teach that. You're not going to find that. So at the end
Couldn't
at the
let that
end of
one
the
slide.
yeah at the end of the day. But shout out to Pastor Bennett, man. I see you, Pastor Bennett. He did just give you a 2 piece in the
Hey,
biscuit.
hey,
I
Elder
know you
Yaga,
don't get it, but I'll let him do that. That's on
backstage,
Pastor Bennett.
backstage.
Yeah.
I got Pastor on the phone. Let him get it in right quick because he
Oh
can't.
yeah, no doubt.
This is Pastor Bennett out in Chicago doing his thing, doing what he do. Peace and blessings to you, Pastor. How you doing? Pastor, you there? Pastor Bennett, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, but I was trying to put you on that speaker. So let me hear you say something. Damn, you ain't on the speaker. All right, go ahead,
Can you
man.
hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, can Brother Sean hear me?
We
Yes,
can hear
sir.
you.
Loud and clear. Loud and
Yeah, they
clear.
can hear you, brother.
How you doing, Brother Sean?
Doing good, Pastor. How are you?
He said he's
This
doing good. How are
pastor.
you?
I'm
Okay,
talking to
Yes,
cool,
Pastor,
he's a
cool,
bro.
cool.
pastor.
Okay.
Cool. I just got I got a question for you. I don't know if you understood the question before, so let me just ask you again. So you said you do believe man stealing. That's what it was. The question was supposed to say, man stealing. According to Christianity or according to the New Testament, do you agree that man stealing is a sin?
Can I answer yes and throw something I ain't throwing? I don't believe in sin, but yes, stealing.
I'm trying to put you on the speaker so you can hear him. Can you say something again, Pastor? Damn, for some reason. Yo, I'm gonna call you back.
I want to make sure I'm following them, because like one of the problems I have with the sin thing, like, you steal, I steal to survive. You hungry. You need to answer. Listen, it's called strain theory. You could take the law-abiding, honest person who did everything according to the book all his life, her life, and then they can be hit with something so catastrophic like financial strain or something that puts them in a situation where they will break the law. It's just reality. People right now, that's why they close self-checkout. Folk are struggling, hoping you don't see that carton of water at the bottom.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him on speaker so he can be heard. And it's connected, so I don't know what's up with him, his joint.
But there was a lot of lying that was permitted by God in the Bible, even letting down the spies out the window, lying, saying they wouldn't there. You had, I think it was Abram.
All right, there you go. It should be picking up now.
Hello?
All right, there you go, Pastor. Now we can hear you. Ask your question again,
cool.
brother, and he can hear you.
All right, cool. How you doing, Brother Sean?
All right, doing well. I can hear him real good now.
Yeah, I hear you good too, brother. So no, my question was, and I think I think you might have been talking about stealing. No, I'm asking specifically, do you agree or not that the New Testament, Christians, those who follow Christ, I'm asking you, do you believe that man stealing as a Christian was a sin?
Absolutely.
Okay, so then I'm gonna ask you this part of the question again.
Okay.
Do you, because you said yes to this last time, so I had to ask you this question. So if you believe that according to Christians and according to Christ, it would have been a sin for men stealing, slave traders, then the next question Sonetta had asked you was, did the slave masters give our ancestors biblical Christianity? And you said yes. I'm gonna ask you again.
No.
Okay. Okay. Good. So I appreciate that level of honesty. So if the slave masters did not give our ancestors biblical Christianity, then what Christianity did our ancestors follow? The slave masters or biblical?
Yeah, and so it's like all I can give, right, is if what I studied thus far, and it goes like this: when it comes to before they stole us conclusively, right? I've heard the arguments about Ethiopia in the oldest Bible. They did not practice what they were forced to believe: the pie in the sky, the obeying your masters as unto the Lord, even the froward ones, and all of this stuff. Um, uh, and so it's unreasonable to expect that white colonizer racist slave owners would give my folk anything in its appropriate form. And so I think Frederick Douglass was one, and many others learned to read and was taught. And then you got to remember the alleged Emancipation Proclamation. I say alleged because no one was really set free at that point, right? But our ancestors believed and was so exuberantly happy about the Emancipation Proclamation that was God, like he delivered the children of Israel from Egypt, that was God delivering us until we were smacked with Jim Crow. And so,
okay, so let me just cut in real quick. But respectfully, I think you respectfully don't want to argue with you. I just want to put some questions before you. It's your show.
Okay.
I don't want to debate you, but I have questions. But I think you just deflected from my actual question. You admitted that according to the New Testament and Christ followers, that man stealing would be wrong, which therefore would then mean that according to what you just answered, and according to you saying slave masters did not follow biblical Christianity because they wouldn't have even been able to do the slave trade, according to your first answer. All those millions of hours.
Hey, okay. I think I'm glad you rephrased that.
Okay. Okay. So hold on. So let me just get.
Yeah.
So according to Christianity, all of those Africans that were brought over on the Middle Passage would not have even been able to be brought over if Christianity was being followed, according to your first two answers. My second question to you was, since you admit that it was not biblical Christianity that white people came over, and you sound like someone who has studied, so then you would surely recognize that white slave owners didn't even want our ancestors to have the Bible. Surely you would know that. They ripped pages out of the Bible so that we wouldn't see certain things that they wanted us to see. You brought up Frederick Douglass. So I'm going to ask you again. Frederick Douglass was a Christian. If white people did not give us biblical Christianity, I'm asking you, what Christianity did Frederick Douglass have? What Christianity did David Walker have? What Christianity
The
did
same Christianity Christians have today when they pick up their Bible and believe that this is what the Lord is saying to me.
That's right. That's right.
Don't help us, sir. So okay. But I'm pointing out that you made the point earlier. I'm sticking with. We're not going to do the games. You made the point earlier that Christianity hasn't did anything for us. That's the point you made. And if you're being intellectually honest, is that what our ancestors said?
In their ignorance.
No. Wait, brother. You can't say now. Do y'all see? Wait, do y'all see this?
Hold on.
I alluded to us not being able to read then. Get.
Okay, I'll give you the last word. Let me just say this. I'll hang up and listen to your last word. But when somebody hates Christianity so much that they start dissing their ancestors, that's crazy. That's what right there. Hold on.
I don't hate Christianity.
Can I just finish real quick?
Yes, you can.
All I asked the brother was about his enslaved Africans who were suffering and what Christianity they believed in. And the brother just couldn't be honest and say they believed in true biblical Christianity. Hold on. They believed in true. Hold on, brother. Hold on. They believed in true biblical Christianity, but instead he's called the people ignorant. Now,
biblical Christianity.
That's Cedric. I ain't worried about it. Sorry,
hold up, Cedric. Hold on. Let Pastor finish so we can get him out of here.
Yeah, Sean, my bad. That was Cedric. I was here. He's an all-time hater. My bad. I thought that was Sean. I apologize to you, brother Sean. I apologize to you, Sean. I didn't know that wasn't you. But it's not their ignorance. What I'm saying is, if you admit that the slave owners gave us non-biblical Christianity, and if you don't understand that it wasn't weapons in the hands of people that made while there were some rebellions in those things, that the Christianity that our ancestors like Frederick Douglass practiced was the greatest weapon that our people had at that time to fight against the injustices. So because you don't like Christianity, if you're being intellectually honest, then you should be able to tell us the proper Christianity that our ancestors taught, and you should be able to show how within their understanding of the Christianity in the Bible, how they use that as the major tool to purchase our freedom. So while you may not believe in Jesus, you may not believe in the power of the gospel, you may not believe in those things, to suggest that our ancestors were ignorant for their thing, when they were living in a much harder time than you are. And that was the exact thing they were using to fight against the white people that you're saying did not give us biblical Christianity. So I'm just asking, can you be intellectually honest about the Christianity that our ancestors taught, and did that work something great for them? Because you said Christianity has not done anything, I'm quoting you, has done anything for our people. And I'm asking you, if you're being intellectually honest, can you say that that's what our Christian ancestors said? I'll listen to you gladly, my brother.
All right, I'm hang up, Pastor.
Yes, love this. Can I answer him?
Yeah, brother, you can answer now.
Oh, yeah, this is wonderful. And so the first thing I want to do is remove the negative stigma on the word ignorance. When I say that, I mean they did not know. We were definitely limited We're talking about a whole different language, a different culture. We could not read in those parts that were read to us. And remember, with the physical uh, assaults and the maimings, the chopping off of limbs, the grape, all that stuff that went on, um, the psychological impact that it had on our ancestors, to the degree that, remember house nigger, field nigger, right? To the degree that that masterful plan of keeping those closer in the house and drawing that division, while those who seemingly are working harder in the heat see them. And we got this division, of course, slaves having babies by the slave master, lighter complexion, all that stuff. We go and divide them. But watch this. When you say our ancestors, all right, the biblical Christianity they got, when I said that they were ignorant, I meant exactly that, with no disrespect. And I'm assuming you're saying, like, I think I heard that about Harriet Tubman as well. A personal conviction about the Bible or whatever it is that they believe, that's a whole different conversation on whether or not the Bible is true. I think one of the things I spoke to the host about before we even did this program was that my claim is that the God of the Bible is not good. And so I still stand. I still say that we receive that gospel in fear and blood and ignorance, not a fault of our own. We took that like we do chitlins and everything else. We make it our own. And that's what we did. We introduced African spirituality to Christianity to the degree that they thought we were out of our mind because we would dance and jerk and all of that stuff. We brought a lot, the drums and the movement and all those different aspects of what we practiced before Christianity. And we were monitored. This is documented and forbidden to participate in those things that we brought to Christianity. So when I look and say, okay, how did Christianity help? All right, just because Frederick Douglass was a believer, Harriet Tubman may have been a believer. I don't care. If you're going to believe that that God in that book is real, I hold that God responsible the same way you would hold me responsible if I didn't pay child support for my child. Okay, and that's just child support. I hold a God idea responsible for the horrors that happen to Black folk because of the white folk that believe that book is true and no God rescued us. And so, yeah, we were ignorant. And the gospel, the Bible is not a word of any God. And when the Bible said that all scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, and all this stuff, the Bible did not exist at that point in time. And we can argue over which literature it was talking about. It doesn't matter. What matters right now when I say Christianity has done nothing for us is because it teaches you to turn the other cheek and to war in the heavenlies. This war is not your war. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood. That is a lie. Oh, yes, we do. We look at flesh and blood in the face every day. Yeah. So my answer still stands. I was being intellectually honest. They were ignorant.
Peace,
And that's why we wait. And that's why we're waking up now.
So, peace, can I have the floor? I need to
Go
address.
Go ahead, brother.
So let's address the disingenuousness and the intellectual dishonesty of Pastor Bennett. Let's start with that. He starts off the narrative somewhere in the middle and talking about us as slaves, neglecting how we became and got enslaved in the first place. He's neglecting the fact to tell you about the age of discovery and the doctrine of discovery and what that doctrine contained. It was the get down or lay down or get down rule. By means of the Roman decree, the world was split in two, and everyone was made subject to this conquering idea, Christianity. They needed to be humbled by means of Christianity. So they were in the Americas for almost 200 years, enslaving and wiping out the indigenous natives on the basis of this Christianity. That's why you see Christianity so predominant in Catholicism, so predominant in South America. When they couldn't use the natives anymore throughout the Caribbean and North America, it was again by Pope decree, by means of the church, that they had the authority and the rights to enslave us as Africans. And any human being under any circumstances is going to use what they can and what they have around them to free themselves. So to put all this emphasis on a book as if that now makes the information in that book factual, makes any God real, makes any claim of a Jesus substantiated, is nonsense. It's intellectually dishonest. The whole spill was intellectually dishonest. Right? We are taken away. We are totally left in ignorance, and this is the only instrument there. And by means of engaging with that instrument in our ignorance, yes, like my brother said, ignorance, not understanding and knowing any better, that is what was relied on. In today's day and age, there is no substantiation of any claim of that book. Now you can go and get all sophisticated and call literature scripture and become an expert in the literature. Doesn't make anything of that literature factual or real. I'm gonna emphasize it again. Doesn't make it any factual or real. Pastor Bennett, you can call me a hater because we have one subject to debate. What is the evidence for and of your God? And because you have none, you keep running and calling me a hater. You want me to engage in fictional literature. You want me to engage in fictional literature because you've read it back and forth and engage in it in a theological frame of reference, as if that theological frame of reference is anything other than a philosophical standpoint.
All right, hold on, Cedric. Mr. Towers want to get back in here.
Thank you, brother.
I'm glad that brother brought that up because I missed something. Let's go back to the Bible as some type of moral book or moral foundation. Listen, the Bible says if in the Old Testament, if you had kids who were unruly, you're supposed to drag them out into the neighborhood, and you and your homeboys and homegirls in the neighborhood come together and beat their brains out with rocks. You call that morality? You call morality a woman who has been raped by a man who's not married, okay? A fee can be paid to her dad for forgiveness, and then she's unclean and cannot be married to anybody who marries her. They're going to be ridiculed. When we talk about the Bible and we talk about morality, that's the last place in the world you want to go to make some reference to morality. Here's one. Let's talk about 10 Commandments. One of them: children, obey your parents, right? That your days might be long on this earth, right? Honor them, right? Now, what happens when parents rape children? Do they owe them honor? Huh? And I know many people who honored their parents and died horrible deaths. This is not true. What we got to stop doing is, and that's the hard part, because there are people who died and believe that they can take up snakes and no deadly thing would harm them. They could drink certain things, man. This is real. We have people who won't take their children to get blood transfusions, who are getting cancer treatment. For those who say God was in the medicine, that's what I almost forgot, brother. To say that, you have to consider what my son and other kids like him are going to go through for the rest of their life. I'm 6'3". He's never going to be 5'6", maybe 5'7", the most. He may never have children. Okay, he has to take growth hormones and other meds probably the rest of his life. He was blind twice out of nowhere. Okay, the things that happened to his body because of the poison of chemo and radiation, God's not in that. It's poison, man, but it kills cancerous cells, but it destroys good ones too, man. You see what I'm saying? And so what we're asking is we can have these conversations. Where I sit is I live more years than I have left. So with that being said, I want to know as much truth that can be demonstrated as possible versus those things that I got to hope and guess and we have to debate about. And that's great for talking, but let's be careful. You know, we don't have the answers. That's why I say I'm not atheist, but I get that term because I cannot say God does not exist. I can't. But what I can say, these jokers in these books, none of them exist. I curse them out every day.
All right, Elder Yara, I think.
Yeah,
I think
no, son,
any legs to stand on over here right
well,
now.
actually,
hold on, Cedric. I gotta let Elder Black Sage respond, brother.
Yeah. Let me say this. First of all, I think everything Pastor Bennett said went directly over most of you guys here has
No,
always
it
done this.
didn't, brother. No, it was
Especially, let me, hey, don't cut me off, Sinetta.
yes, sir. Hey,
Especially,
one thing, Black Sage.
uh-huh.
Remember, I've always told you this, brother.
Yeah.
We were born to know what is right and what is wrong. We don't need a Bible to tell us what morality it is. When you got a mother there, when you got somebody there raising you, when we in our own community, when we see the goddamn police every day coming down getting you for something you did wrong, we don't need a Bible to tell us that. We know that, brother. And the reason why you had brothers like Nat Turner and Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass reading the Bible, it was only because that was the only book that they allowed us to read at that time. And so what did they do? Nat Turner used it against them like brother SHAWN is doing right now, like I'm doing right now, like Cedric is doing. So he used the book against them. That's all he did. When he say the blood that if you he who leads into captivity shall go into captivity. So that's what he saw. He said, oh, okay. So I'm going to use this to put their blood in slavery too. I'm going to use this to let them taste their own blood. So that's why they was reading the Bible. It was because that was the only book that they allowed them to read, brother. So come on, man.
Okay.
And if I mimic the God of the Bible's behavior, I would be jailed forever or unalived.
Right.
Well, actually, you're wrong about that. So at the end of the day, so that's why I mean I could care less about the Bible. I could care less about it. And the reason why I say that is because it's exactly what it is. It's a big biography. It's wisdom literature. It's just compiled. That has nothing to do about the argument that I'm making with this gentleman and you on the panel, as I always have. For some reason, you guys equate God with the Bible.
That's what I'm talking about, though.
But that's ignorant. But no, it's ignorant to do that because you can't equate.
Bro,
Hold
that's the
on.
topic.
No, listen. Before you get triggered. Listen before you get triggered.
Hold on, one mic, y'all. One mic.
Y'all listen before you get before y'all get triggered.
No,
y'all listen before you get triggered. You cannot equate God with the Bible. There are many different Bibles. God is not the Bible. Do you understand that, Sinetta? God is not the Bible.
So you know God. Tell us who he is. Is it a he?
Listen to me. No, God is not a he.
Okay.
God is not a gender. The Bible is literature. It tells us from wise men who understood who God was that God is a spirit. A spirit is not a gender. A spirit does not have genitalia, right?
How do you know that? What is a spirit?
A spirit is energy. A spirit is knowledge and wisdom. That's energy. This is why.
No,
let me help you. Let me help you before you say no.
No,
right?
I'm always say no because you can't.
Yeah. But let me help you before you say no.
Come on,
right? Let me help you before you say no. Are there things about you today that people equate with your relatives that lived before you? Or they can say, you know what? You act just like your grandfather, or
that's biology.
Listen, hold on. You're saying that's biology. Watch this. You're saying that's biology, right? The way that you think about something is not biological.
Yes, it is.
That's impossible,
No, it's not,
brother.
No, it's not.
I don't exist without
No. Listen, I said the way that you think about something is not biology, Cedric.
Yes, it is.
It is not. No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
The brain is at work, so if it's not biology,
listen. A brain.
Everybody, hold on. I want Yara to finish so we can go back in. And Yara. The big mistake that you're making, brother, is that the only reason why people know about God is because of the Bible, brother.
That's false.
They know about God.
That's false. That's false. And let me tell you. Let me tell y'all, right? See, this is a panel foot. And I love your definition, brother Towers, of ignorance, right? So I'm getting ready to say this. This is a panel full of ignorant men right now. So let me tell you why, right? Because before we had a Bible, we know that since almost the beginning of modern man, we understood two belief systems, or we understand two things outside of ourselves, right? That we agree with. And this is one thing I never got to I never got to challenge Polite on this when he said, "Well, what did we believe before the Bible?" Easy.
Animism.
Animism and shamanism. Animism and shamanism, not just animism, but those two things in and of itself are outside of humanity.
Huh?
Those things are outside of ourselves. Them people didn't think they were antelope, Cedric.
No. That's an
They didn't
idea.
think they were
That's an
caribou.
idea.
Listen, can I finish talking? Whoever running their mouth.
Let them finish, y'all.
What I'm saying was those people didn't think that they were caribous or zebras, but they believed in animism. What is animism? They believed in the spirit of those animals, that they reflected something in themselves. So this is what I'm saying. These things existed before a bibliography, before a Bible existed. So to say that, these things were not spiritual, or that these ideas didn't exist before a Bible did, that's what I'm trying to get you people to
I didn't say
understand.
that.
No,
So,
I know
so,
you didn't
so
say it directly.
you
I
the
know you
blame.
didn't say it directly. But
First,
these things,
stop. We are talking about evidence. You're talking about a changing concept. Now you take us to animism, which is something that people believe. That still doesn't substantiate the factual evidence of a spirit. So that bait and switch doesn't work,
I didn't.
y'all.
I didn't. Listen, Cedric. I said specifically, which you disagree with, because you always talk faster than your brain moves, Cedric. When I said to you, and when I said to this panel, your thoughts are not always biological. You said yes, they are.
They are.
Can we
They are
define that?
not.
Can we
Yes,
define
they
it?
are.
That'll help.
Listen. If I think that I'm,
You
if you
think
think, if you
what you think.
Cedric, if you tell me that you think that you're an orange, and I can look at you and say, "No, what? You're not an orange." You're telling me you think you're an orange because that's a biological, or
So,
there's something chemical that's happening in your brain that
No,
makes you think you're an orange?
so why you
No,
gonna make a no? Why you gonna
brother.
make a
But
nonsense
it,
or category
no.
when you're trying to draw
All right,
analogy?
all right. Hold on. Everybody, hold on. Let me move on over real quick because I did not let Stairway speak. Stairway, still, you there?
and I got 15 minutes.
Okay, brother. Herman,
Yes, yes,
you there? You want to add on to this, brother?
definitely. Well, without question, man. And again, your panel and your voice as a guerrilla journalist for even putting this together. This is one of the most important discussions we need to have.
Hey, Herman, did you see
So,
the video earlier I threw up with you?
yeah, I did.
Okay,
I
go ahead.
definitely,
Continue, brother.
definitely appreciate that. Because Christianity, whatever you want to say about it, our people are fully engrossed in that religion, in that belief system. And we have to look at how it was introduced to us. We have to question what were the positives and the negatives. And the brother Sean is within his right to have a negative view of the overall outcome,
Yeah,
especially if we
absolutely.
look at our people's condition right now. But now, do we throw the baby out with the bathwater? Did we find some things in Christianity that help us get through this sojourn here? The brother made an excellent analogy with our dietary limitations during that time, which consisted of chitlins and pig feet and pig ears and all the other discarded parts of that animal. But we made a way to stay alive and to even prosper to a certain degree. The back end, we got diabetes and obesity and a whole bunch of other stuff, but we were still here and able to birth children that now we have an opportunity to give what? To give the highest truth that we can get our hands on. And that's, again, I'm concurring with so much of what Brother Sean is saying. Let's get to the highest truth. That is what's going to serve us. We cannot say, "Oh yes, our battles are only in places of spirituality." No, we have a beast that we look at and have to deal with every day. So we need systems in place that are going to help us navigate the challenges that we have. Now, do our people to a great degree find comfort and sustenance in a belief in the Bible? I don't want to rob them of that. Brother Ray Higgins came to that same conclusion. You can't snatch something away from a man without giving him something else that he can survive on. And some of our people, this is all they know. They have everything invested in that. But for our children and for our future generations, if we are not going to stand on whatever, excuse me, whatever the highest truth is that we can find unbiasedly, irrespective of what our parents may have taught us based on their level of knowledge. Yes, of ignorant, and I know no one wants to have that term, but all it means is you lack knowing. You don't know. So it's something we do have to remove the stigma. But now the age of ignorance has to end. And whoever is a purveyor of truth, whatever systems are the purveyor of truth, are the ones we have to adhere to. And what is the best way to judge that? What results are being given by those systems? And if we can't judge on results, all that other stuff is inconsequential. But I am enjoying this build so much. I just thank you for giving me a chance to add that. But I'm gonna stay here. Peace and Pan-Africanism. I'm listening, brothers. I appreciate all that you all are contributing, especially brother Sean. Is this brother Sean's first time on the platform?
Yes, my first time today on my brother's platform.
Well,
Yes,
brother, you are
I'm loving it.
presenting yourself well. I'm enjoying your perspective, and I'm enjoying the interaction. So, with that, I will yield and continue to listen to all the great things your brothers are sharing. Peace,
Thanks,
peace.
Brother Herc. Hey, before anybody else, let me go on over real quick before I come back to Sean. Man Hercules, what's up, man? Mansa Hercules, my man.
Hey,
What's up, brother?
what's going on, brother Sal? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. Peace to
Right,
you.
right.
What's up, brother Sean? How you feeling, brother?
Doing good. What's going on, Big
I,
Hurt?
I love the title. Yeah, I agree with the title definitely. I think that there were a lot of our own psychologists, like Amos Wilson, and Marine Baani, and Jacob Carruthers. A lot of our elders have said this in the past. Christianity, Islam has been detrimental to us as a people. And if you're going to push back against that, I think you need to show psychologically, on that psychological level, where it has not. You know what I'm saying? And I, I agree, and I kind of disagree with Pastor Bennett on the point where, like, he was saying that was the best tool that we had when David Walker and Harriet Tubman and those guys back in the days they was using. I would say it wasn't the best tool. And proof of that would be Dessalines, the Haitian Revolution. I mean, they showed us.
Yeah, so Pastor Bennett been missing so long, he falling off now. He getting weak on us. He got to come back home.
They showed us the power of Black spirituality, of African spirituality, and what it did. Because during the height of slavery, they were able to defeat and defend themselves against all them European empires. So I think I think that we need to reanalyze that. And a great book is by Wade Noble's The Island of Memes that he came out with. It demonstrates that. It's a great book. Truthfully, Brother Sa, I forgot why I tapped in. It's been so many topics, I forgot why I tapped in. But I definitely I like the subject, and I think like I said, Amos Wilson showed us on a psychological level and Blueprint for Black Power and for the falsification of the African consciousness, how Christianity has been really detrimental to us as a people. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely, yeah. So I
Yeah,
agree with
hey, brother Mansa Hercules. What I like about you when you come in, you revere the ancestors again, and you make me remember. When you start talking about Wade Nobles and Dr. Amos Wilson and brothers like Dr. Naeem Markbard and all of these brothers, I love that, man, because you bring them back to the surface, brother, and that's a good thing. Let me move on. Sean, you want to say something before I go to the next
Yeah,
person?
yeah. I wanted to because I got 5 minutes. I
Yes,
gotta
sir. Go ahead, brother.
be right back up. First of all, I want to say I'm a subscriber as of today. You'll get a notification.
Yes.
This I love this table. I love my Black people, Black men in particular. Hopefully, we'll talk about mental health at some point, emotional and mental health. When it comes to us, we're carrying a lot. Um, I want to say this. At the end of the day, I forget which brother had said something about throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I
Oh, that
actually,
was Herman. That was no, that wasn't.
yeah,
Yeah, that was Herman.
yeah. And I want to say that when I became a Christian in 1997, things were going on in my life in New York City that really basically put us, I had to leave. Okay. Um, and because of the switch, because I was in church 5 days a week, ministry was my food, um, service to the community was my life. And the positive thing that came, a few things were positive out of it. And I'm gonna make a statement at the end. This is not a declaration of truth. What I'm saying is, I understand that there are people in church, and a lot of them, they're their best version of them right now, sitting in the pews. I got a cousin who smoked crack long time. And he doesn't even drink. It's been that way since he's been in church. Okay. I'm not that guy that's going to run over and tell him, nah, you did it. You did it, man. Wouldn't Jesus listen? I leave him alone. I hug my cuz, glad you clean, and all that good stuff. My concern primarily is for those who are in church, in the pews, and they feel this is not right. Um, what I'm seeing, hearing, experiencing, it's not right, but I don't have a voice because I was taught. Don't do as I do, do as I say, get slapped in the mouth for asking certain questions. Don't you dare doubt. And so, with that being said, I have a lot of positivity that I can talk about concerning church. For me, with that understanding, I always tell people just don't listen to me, don't come to my page, do not follow me. At the end of the day, though, there were great things that I got out of that. My heart's desire to be reconnected with, like, I can't wait to go to Africa. You know, I know that's going to be emotional for me. That's my journey. Um, but when I think about what happened to my beautiful people, and even till this day, not understanding how the very mindset that we had that caused us to procrastinate or not make a move when we should for our own protection. The greatest weapon, in my opinion, for white supremacy for the black mind is Christianity, because Christianity is going to make you say, look, can we all get along? You know, we don't wrestle flesh and blood, brother. Yes, we do. And we have to call it out when we see it. And Jesus has done nothing, in my opinion. Like I said, there's some positive aspects of it, but I could have had myself busy in the Nation of Islam too. I could have been busy as a Buddhist. I could have been busy somewhere. I was just off the streets. It didn't make what I believe true. And so, for those who, everyone doesn't uh, care about what's true. Everybody doesn't care about intellectual honesty. Many people, egos all over the place. We get it. It's all good. We can have these discussions. At the end of the day, I live more years than I have left. And let's continue to lift one another up. Let's stand for truth. And what is truth except that which is demonstrated as true? Not because I said so or you said so. What's demonstrated as true? And there's one common denominator in all of this that's going on right here, and that's the absence of any God that we're discussing. That would clear all this up.
Teach.
And so I got to get
Thank
ready
you,
to get
brother.
out of here, y'all. Love
Hey,
you,
Sean
brother.
Tower, thank you for spending some time with us over here today. I
Yeah,
appreciate you, brother.
brother
Love you,
Sean,
brother.
brother Sean.
Pastor too.
Can I
Love
leave
that
one thing
all
with
y'all.
you,
Sir?
brother Sean? Can I leave one thing with you?
Yes, you can.
Now, be cautious how you speak over your life, brother. I know you said a few times, I've lived
Oh,
more
I'm gonna live a
years
long
than I
time.
have. Okay, exactly. Because to get 110, 120, that's
Yeah,
commonplace for us, brother.
yeah,
So please don't, oh, I've lived more than, you
yeah,
might
yeah.
have much
Let me
more to
tell you
come.
something though. You're gonna love this. And I believe that too, bro. I'm probably gonna be one of them old dudes, right? But listen, I'm so full, bro. I was married 30 years, only to find out, we got to end this. I got seven children, six grandchildren. I'm the only child. I used to walk the streets of New York on the Grand Concourse Fordham Road. There was a pizza shop on that corner, in a garbage can. I used to eat out that garbage can, fighting them yellow bees to get the pizza that people threw away. I have lived an amazing life. I had opportunity to save life. I had an opportunity to have a wife and a girlfriend at the same time. Do you understand? I've done so much, right? That if I only had about another week brother, I'm happy. You understand? I got a chance to be up here with y'all. I have spoken to so many people over the years that we in this digital age, man, your voice will be here when you're long gone. This is a good time. And so even if it was tomorrow, you get what I'm saying? I'm happy. You understand what I'm saying? But we got a whole lot, we got more years. We got some more years, y'all.
Respect.
All right. Thank you, my brother Sean. Peace and blessings to you, brother.
All right now. Hey, Pastor, don't be like, that's why he ain't saying no more. He just want to go out there and be all them women and look,
Yeah.
check out David. What they do to David when he was laying on the bed about to die? Like,
That's
bring
right.
him some hoes, man. Bring some hoes. Bring them hoes in here.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, yes, sir. All right, my brother. Peace.
All right, man. Peace, y'all.
Right, peace, brother.
All right.
Appreciate
All right.
you. It's a great
Now
deal.
we got Dr. Inky in the building. Inky, man, I see you was scared to come up in here at the beginning with the brother here. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. We can't hear you, brother. You might have to go out and come back in. Oh, I hear
have
you.
me muted.
No, I hear you. Go ahead. Now we hear you.
I kept saying I got a question for the brother before he left. Maybe you had me on mute. You probably muted me, Si.
No, sir. No, I didn't.
Well, I couldn't. I mean, Chase got a homecoming dance today, so I had to, I got stuff going on with Chase. He trying to look cool for his girlfriend and all that. Right now. Listen,
Yeah.
I was trying to get in here. Listen, the brother Sean acts like the Bible was written when they brung the first boat of slaves over here. like the Bible just started 400 years ago. Like, that's crazy. And then you, Si, I just want you to know, brother, that I have created a video clip of you, sir. You just said, and I made sure I clipped this. Yeah. I made sure I clipped this. You just said that we would not know about God if it wasn't for the Bible. The Bible is the only reason we know about God. How is this the house of Kemet? How is this the house of consciousness? And you say such blasphemous. That was crazy. I got you on video, sir. I just want you to know that, sir.
So prove me wrong right now. Yeah, come on.
You telling me that we didn't know about God before the Bible, sir?
Prove me wrong.
I don't think that I have to prove you wrong, sir.
Yes, you do.
I think that everybody.
You can't see. There you go. You can't.
All right, look. If you feel like that's a W, no problem, sir. Just know me and you got a 12 o'clock showdown.
And when you try to go into Kemet, we didn't use the word God, brother. So don't even use that. Ha! I know.
So then your argument is semantics.
I know.
The conversation wasn't semantic.
I know where you're trying to go.
The conversation wasn't semantic in nature, though. The conversation was
we didn't know about God until the Bible. Right? That's it. Now, I'm telling you, don't go into Kemet and say, yeah, well, what about Kemet? We never used the word God.
Talking about the Abrahamic faith. We didn't know about the Abrahamic faith.
That's false as well. That's false.
Wait.
That's false.
So what about the Codex Sinaiticus?
What about it?
I'm asking you a question.
No, don't ask me the question. Prove me wrong.
I'm asking you a simple question.
No, prove me wrong, brother.
Okay,
don't
let me ask you another question. Since now you
running,
you want to answer no question,
brother.
And look, that brother Sean that was up here, I had questions for him. Y'all be scared of these questions. Let me ask you a question, Sop. Where does the Codex Sinaiticus come from? Where does the Codex Sinaiticus come
Tell us. Prove it. Back it up.
I'm asking you a question.
No, don't ask me no questions, brother. Don't ask me no questions.
It comes from man, dude. Come on now. You know, hey, Sam, let me say this. I
passed the mic.
Hold on. Let me say this to the whole panel.
Go ahead, brother.
Let me say this to everybody. The man who wants to tell another man that he don't understand as far as religion is concerned, that's the man who causes all the havoc, and that's is where the problem comes in at.
There you go.
I'll leave it at that.
There you go. Hey, Cedric, what you got to say to Dr. Inky about what he's trying to do?
The usual flim flam.
Yeah, he ran when I called you. He ran.
He's gonna do the 21 question things, but he's not gonna actually prove you wrong. because your point is actually factual. Because when we talk about God, right, we know that we're talking about the Bible. Yara's a Hebrew.
Right.
Yara's a
Right.
Hebrew.
Thank
And
you.
whatever reference they make to the biblical God. But
Thank
whenever
you.
we start to break down the biblical God, they do the Martin Bailey. They run to, well, you can't talk about God of the Bible because there's animism. Or in Kemet they practice. Wait, did ancient Kemet, was that the culture practiced by the Romans that wrote the doctrine of discovery that eventually led us into slavery by their colonizing?
You're saying it the wrong way, man. They're gonna say you don't
But
understand.
the problem is that that's not the problem. Hold on.
Tell you don't
The problem
understand.
is, hold
That's
on. The
his
problem is that that's not. Hold on. That's not even biblical Christianity when you talk about the doctrine of discovery. That's not biblical That's not biblical Christianity.
Hold on,
That's
hold on,
not
hold
biblical
on, hold on.
Christianity.
One mic. Cedric, let him go.
That's not biblical Christianity, Cedric. The doctrine of discovery didn't come from the Bible. That came from the Catholic Church. That didn't come from the Bible. Hold on.
What did the doctrine of discovery say? Go and make them Christians. Go and
Hold on. Listen, Cedric. This is easy. This is easy, Cedric.
And by means of this,
This is easy, Cedric. You're not going to show hold on. You're not going to show a verse in the Bible that says the doctrine of discovery is to go make Christians of Africans. You're not going to see that. That's a
non-sequitur. I never made that.
Hold on, Cedric.
Hold on, Cedric.
Black
That is a man-made. That's a man-made development. Just like you can take anything and twist it to your idea. That did not come from. Hold on. That did not come from the Bible. So you have to stop that lie. And just like when we say prove God, when you say prove God before the Bible, I can take you into Egyptian hieroglyphics and show you Yahweh El.
Come on.
No. That's a fact. But y'all want to argue. Hold on. Y'all want to argue these incessant points, just like Dr. Inky correctly said. You want to argue semantics to do the flim-flam to get out the argument that it does talk about the God of the Bible. We could go into Sorbet El Kadim and show you hieroglyphic inscriptions that mention Balak, Hathor, and God Yahweh El. That we know that those Israelites were practicing worship of those gods. So what is God talking about? You can't prove that before the Bible.
Yeah, right. Your mic sound like you underwater, brother.
That's
all right. Let me just say this.
No, hold on. Yeah, right. Your mic sound like you was underwater a little bit at your closing. Go ahead, Cedric.
So first of all,
I see your Saw 7 is next.
Yara does this all the time. They flim flam and they move the goalposts. Your argument was completely non sequitur because I never made that point. So that's a complete straw man on top of it. I said by means of the doctrine of discovery, Christianity was imposed on people. The book, by means of the doctrine of discovery, was imposed on us. So again, it was imposed. We didn't invite it. We didn't travel pilgrimage to Rome. We didn't want it. It was first by means of colonization. The Portuguese set up shop, and slowly but surely they continue to invade more and more of the territory. And then came the point that slavery was introduced. Boom. And what was that slavery facilitating? Again, the colonialism that was introduced and imposed by the means of the doctrine of discovery. And what was their instrument? The Bible. Now, anything you just said, or go to the Egyptian hieroglyph, does that make any of it factual? Does that substantiate the fact of a God? So this flim flam and moving the goalposts and doing the juggling, bro, you can do that with those who are not following the conversation. But with me, I'm gonna point out every fallacy you make every time.
Well, I never
All right. Let me go on over to 7 Asar. You got the mic, brother.
Peace to you, Sonetta. Peace to
Peace, brother.
everybody. Peace to everybody on the panel. Peace to everybody on the chat. In the chat. I'm unfortunately I wasn't able to speak to the brother, but he really pretty much saying a lot of what I've been saying on this panel for a long time. A lot of what he said aligns with what I say. But it's funny that you have Christians and Hebrews in here trying to argue against him as if what they're saying is like actual facts, when we know it's their beliefs. And to even make it even a more stronger point is all of this, like I heard Elder Yara say, well, that was man-made when he was speaking with Cedric. All of this is created by a man. God, your God was created by a man. There's no evidence of some God handing somebody this information. There's no evidence of that. It's a man telling you that God talked to him in his head, or he was inspired, or whatever excuse he wanted to make up in his mind to say that some alien force spoke to him. But it was a man that created the concept of God, that created all the different integral meanings of your religion or this religion. Because just like Cedric and Sonetta corrected Elder Yara, we didn't know nothing about this Christian God until we came over here, till the Bible was introduced to us.
Bring it out.
We knew about other gods, but we didn't know this God right here until it was forced upon us. And for Pastor Bennett to try to say that Christianity was a way that we could weaponize.
Seven Asar, be careful.
Yes,
be careful, because Pastor Bennett is in the building.
Oh, too late.
I'm glad he's here. We can have the discussion. We can have the discussion.
I can take Ken Chase now.
We can have the discussion.
All right,
we can have that discussion.
Be quiet.
My brother, Pastor Bennett, you want to say that Christianity was the weapon that we used it and we was able to weaponize it, something that was forced on us. Pastor Bennett, why did they force that on us? Why did they leave us alone and let us use our own religions, Pastor? Because how powerful would we be if we had retained our own religions, Pastor? They had to remove those religions, our own, and force another one on us. And even to your admission, we implicated, because we still retain some of our stuff, we put some of our own in this Christianity. So I would argue it was what we put in it. It was what the power was, not what was forced upon us. Right? So when you have these Christians and Hebrews on here trying to argue something that's fact and truth, when we know it's just their belief, all the scholars have proven it's just a belief, right? So for you to try to talk about a man-made created ideology as if it's fact to rebuttal that, brother, all of you are underneath that term ignorance. And I'll close there.
All right, let Pastor respond. Pastor, you got the mic. Unmute yourself. Pastor Bennett, let's go.
Yeah,
you've been missing for a while, Pastor. You fell off, man.
Yeah,
you don't know. We got some soldiers up in here now. Seven Asar. We got some powerful brothers up here now, Pastor.
First of all, I just came on because I heard people lying, going, not trying to hear what the brother Yara said. Let me help the brother out real quick. Who's the young man? I'm sorry, the man I was talking.
That's Asar 7 right here, brother Asar 7. Seven Asar.
Okay, Seven Asar. Number one, let's get my words right. I didn't say they weaponized Christianity, that our people weaponized it. My specific question was because maybe before you heard him, the brother said Christianity hasn't did anything at all for us. That's one. That's factual that he made that statement. Then when I had him ask, he said that the white slave masters gave black slaves biblical Christianity. That's what he said before I got on there. Everybody was a witness to this. So those are my questions, right? But what I like to do right now, Sonetta, is I like to do what, and Sonetta, put you back on the screen because I'm about to get you. Yeah, put me back on the screen. Put me on the screen with you. So Sonetta, I'm about to hold you accountable. You want me to tell you I'm about to hold you accountable? You done got weak. You got weak since when I used to be on here. Don't blame me. Nobody talk about y'all got some soldiers now. You done got weak. You want me to tell you why you done got weak? Because when I was on here, you used to tell people, I don't care about your opinion. I don't want to hear none of your opinion. Source up or shut up is what you used to say. So now we're going to see how really tough cats is. Because how, like what the Bible says, how long should we halt between two opinions? Like, if you don't agree with my opinion, I don't agree with your opinion. Okay, cool. But if we're going to talk about our ancestors, then let's talk from our ancestors. Okay. Have not the Americans the Bible in their hands? Do they believe it? Surely they do not. See how they treat us in open violation of the Bible. They no doubt will be greatly offended with me. But if God does not awaken them, it will be because they are superior to no other man, as they have represented themselves to be. This is David Walker, who through his whole book, let me give it to you so y'all can source up, appeal to the colored citizens of the world, killing white people, saying they ain't practicing the Bible, while y'all over here telling black people that the white man really owns Christianity and what he said is Christianity. Our ancestors actually said not, but hold on, I ain't done yet. Right. I'm not done yet. Frederick Douglass, let me give you him. These are people that was actually in slavery. Y'all cats sitting on YouTube talking about what our ancestors, but y'all ain't saying what our ancestors said. I want y'all to source up with the actual ancestor. What I have said respecting against religion, I mean strictly to apply to the slave-holding religion of this land, and with no possible reference to Christianity proper. For between the Christianity of this land and the Christianity of Christ, I recognize the widest possible difference, so wide that to receive the one as good and pure and holy is a necessity to reject the other as bad and corrupt and wicked. To be a friend of one is of necessity to be an enemy of the other. So what our ancestors said, who were actually in slavery and in chains, said, for if any of you Negroes to be sitting on YouTube giving power and authority to white slaveholding Christianity, he said you can't be a friend of that and then a friend of black people who actually practice true biblical Christianity. If you ain't got no force to bring me back, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Hold on. And one more thing. Hold on. And one more thing. I'm telling you right now, if y'all don't bring me a source, I'm hanging up. If y'all start talking out of y'all mouth, I don't want to hear it. If y'all start, if I'm telling you what y'all ancestors said and y'all getting offended and ain't gonna bring me back a source, I don't want to hear none of y'all say. I come from the place where this is source up or shut up. Secondly, it wasn't just me. W.E.B. Du Bois was one of the many of our scholars, just one of the many of our scholars who talked about during that time, the only institution we had was the church. The church was made up of Christians. What do you mean Christian did? The land, the first ownership of land was church, was black Christians. The first educational schools were black Christians. And no matter how much you want to say that was just what they did, no, these were believing black Christians. You can't get away from that. So if you don't got a hey,
what a way.
Hold on. No, ain't no what a way. See now everybody on this thing, we ain't think about Cedric, because that's what Cedric doing is he playing. That means he ain't got no sword. He ain't got no sword.
Wait a minute. You demanding a source.
What do I need a source for? Yeah. What do
Man said Hercules. Man said Hercules.
Yo, one mic, y'all. Let him finish. Let him finish.
I just want to say that. Sonetta. If anybody don't start bringing me a source to challenge what I'm saying, I'm hanging up. I'll listen to Seven Asar's retort, and I'll listen to
source. Y'all know how we do. We source up, but we still source up over here. What are you talking about, Pastor?
Then let Seven Asar unmute and let Mansa unmute and let them respond.
Source it up, y'all. If y'all want to respond.
Okay, hold on. What do I need to source up? I don't disagree with not one word of what Pastor Bennett has said. And for him to use that psychological, let me speak. I let you speak for a long time, didn't say nothing. For you to come on, yeah, I know he did. I was gonna tell him he might as well drop off because he's trying to use a trick to try to change the argument. No one up here is arguing what he said. What we're saying is, and let me go on my original point with him, because he said that the brother said that we didn't know the Bible until we came over here, which was fact. He's right about that. We didn't know that. We didn't know that till we came over here, was indoctrinated by the Bible, right? And then the second, he didn't say they weaponized it. Let me say that what I heard him saying is they empowered themselves, and when you empower yourself with something, you can weaponize that power. So it may not be exactly those words what he was saying, but even in his pastor-like speech, tirade that he gave us to try to psychologically say, well, this is the place where you're supposed to source up. Well, we weren't having a conversation where I was challenging him at all. All I was making a point was, don't try to tell us that Christianity empowered us when we know that it was forced upon us and we were stripped of our own religions. Those are all facts. I don't need to source up that for Pastor Bennett. Unless he's ignorant to that, then I will tell him cite books, because I'm in my car. I can't pull it up. But I will cite the information for him to see it. So for him to try to play this, source up, else I'm going to get off because ain't nobody in here genuine, that's just a cop-out, because you really didn't have no answer for Sinetta's question. You really don't have no rebuttal for what I'm saying. You're going to go ahead and recite great black people who happen to be Christians because it was forced upon them. And that's all I have to say.
I'm
wait, so let me go.
Oh, go ahead.
Let me go. Hey, I need a road, so let me go real quick. So, Pastor Bennett, I did source up. I said Wade Noble's Island of Means explains this, explains how Christianity has been detrimental to us, and African spirituality shows you how they use in African spirituality in Haiti, it was more powerful than Christianity. I said Amos Wilson talked about this. He talked about this in Blueprint for Black Power. He talked about this in the African Center of Consciousness. I mean, we have black psychologists that did say and did show how Christianity has been detrimental to us. Okay, so that's my story. No, I'm not. I can't. I got the books, but I'm not going to grab them right now because I got a road. But I mean, that's the issue. And yes, to the brother Yara, he's talking about Israel was mentioned in the hieroglyphs. Yes, they did mention Israel. They did mention Yahweh. However, that has nothing to do with the people of Kemet. That has nothing to do with the foundation of Kemet. The people who founded Kemet, their whole spiritual system was set in place before they even founded the civilization of Kemet, the kingdom of Kemet. Okay, and the Israel and Yahweh, that came later. That came from the invaders. That came from the outsiders who lived in Kemet for hundreds of years. And then when they left their imprint. That has nothing to do with the original black people of that land at all. All right. And I remember, Brother Sa, so I have to give it to you one day because I would love to go over the proof to prove intelligent design, because we can't prove it, but you have to use you have to use African spirituality. You can't use Christianity. You can't use the Torah or Israel. You can't use these Eurocentric ideas and ideology. They don't prove it. It's talking about God and Amen and Amah and Amen Ra. That's not the same thing. They're not the same. No, not one African spiritual person would tell you that the Eurocentric God is the same as Amah or the same as Amen Ra. They're not talking about the same thing. And that's what we get confused from, because we're using these European ideologies because we were educated in their system. We were educated in their school system. So we think like they think. And you guys who don't understand African spirituality, you're not going deep into African spirituality. You don't understand it. So it's hard for us to conceive and to understand how they saw it. You have to understand African worldview. Because I could prove it to you that the divine intelligence actually existed. They show it.
All right.
Hey, Sanetta.
Hey, I got a road.
Hey, Sanetta, real quick.
Yes.
Now, you see what they do, Sa? You see what they do? And this
Mhm.
and this talk about like why I'm coming. This is why, because you got to get some people that's actually going to be real again. So when Yahweh was just trying to tell them that's not biblical Christianity, these cats was going in on how that's a Christian. They wasn't hearing it. So what I did was I brought actual ancestors who were into slavery, showing how they are saying the white man and their view of Christianity in the Bible ain't what the Bible says, and it ain't Christianity. I brought our African ancestors actually saying it, not me talking that, hey, that wasn't Christianity. I brought how our ancestors took what they were saying. So by y'all keep saying Christianity, y'all are saying that the white man was right about what he said. But what our ancestors were saying is that they wasn't. Now I want to show you something else to what the brother just said. Then y'all keep talking about the Christianity that was brought to us. So what I'm gonna do again is I'm gonna do what I've been waiting for them to do. I'm gonna source up. Here is an African scholar who is more African than anybody on this panel, and who is more scholarly than anybody on this panel concerning Africa. Let me read what he said. This is actually the deceased John S. Mbidi. Look him up. Christianity, the religion which puts its faith in Jesus Christ, came to Africa shortly after the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Not in the 1600s. It is believed in Egypt that Christianity was first brought there by St. Mark. Egyptians believe that, one of the writers of the Bible, in the year 42 AD. Since then, Christianity has spread to other parts of Africa and remained there. In the first 600 years of its era, Christianity spread all over northern Africa, reached as far west as the present-day Morocco. It is also spread up the Nile Valley to what is now the Sudan and to Ethiopia. Thus, by the beginning of the 7th century, not the 15th, not the 14th, and not 1619, beginning of the 7th century, probably 1/3 of Africans followed the Christian faith, and that wasn't under slavery. And since somebody said, well, what about West Africa? Now I'm gonna give you this source, the corpus of early Arabic sources for West African history. Go to page 249. Hold on, let me turn this off because y'all done made me mad. Go to page 249 and read the source that shows Christianity was in West Africa even during the time of Mansa Musa, which was before the Portuguese ever got there. So with that said, Sonetta, I'm going again. Whenever they start talking, say don't mention his name unless you're going to bring your source.
Woo! Drop a bomb for him, sir. Do it, sir. Drop a bomb for him right now.
But see, with Pastor Bennett, I'm like what Asar 7 is saying. Nobody is arguing that Christianity did not spread across this. That's not what we are arguing. You see, that's what he's messing up at. We agree with him. I agree with him with everything that he read. That's not what we're arguing. Seven Asar. So
facts. We are not arguing that.
What are you arguing? Because you don't know what you're arguing.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm arguing, Elder Yara, is all of this is man-made. This is a man-made concept. That's what I'm arguing.
Yes.
Everything that you saying, you arguing it like it's fact. It's your belief. Ain't none of this stuff fact. All this stuff was made by man, and they made all of this stuff up. And what you guys do is go back to the stuff that a man wrote and say, well, they said that, well, what they said right here, and scholars discovered this. All of it is man-made. Either a man wrote it, or a man put it on a pottery, or a man, you either looking at agriculture that men did, you're looking at bones of men, or you're looking at scriptures of men. But it's all created by men. That's my argument.
I'm glad y'all saying that. I'm glad y'all saying that. Sonetta, let me ask you a question. What are you wearing around your neck right now?
What that got to do with
what are you wearing around your neck right now?
I'm wearing a man-made ankh that man made.
Why?
Because according to what they made, it's a symbol of life. It represents life.
And who told you that?
Man told me that.
So man made that, right?
Yes.
Man came up with that concept, right?
Yes, that's exactly
so
what
if man came up with that concept, just like you claim man came with the concept of the Bible, how come you shouldn't throw that ankh out?
Because look, this is why. Y'all say God did these things. We saying Asar 7 saying no, man did it. Just like, hold up, you asked me. Just like man created ancient Kemet. Man is the one, man and woman carved them stones and carved that out. That was man doing, not no God, brother.
Yeah, no problem. Why you got it around your neck?
Because it's just
how many times he got to tell you?
No, listen. What I'm saying to you is by your logic.
Hold on, let me tell you why.
By your logic,
it's a symbol of life.
Okay, so if we look at the Bible,
hold on. that represents man, woman, and child. That's why I got it on my neck.
That's beautiful. That's
And it
beautiful.
represents life.
But it's man-made.
The cross
Some man
represents-
told you that, right?
What's the point you're trying to make, Yara? What's the point?
Hold on, Yara. The clothes you got on is man-made. What are you talking about? That's
Okay,
like,
let me tell you what I'm talking about, because I ain't talking about my t-shirt.
But
I'm
that's
talking
like-
about
like
you
me
got
saying,
that
why are you
religious
wearing that?
symbol. Hold on. You have a religious symbol around your neck.
Hold on for 1 minute.
Because you're
Hold on, brother, for 1 minute. I know I don't have Quana in the building when we all know that he have taken his hand off the plow again. Quana, stop, man. Stop, brother. You taking your hand off the plow again. Get out of Yara chat and stop playing, brother. Go ahead, Yara.
Hey, listen. The reason why you have that honk on your neck, because there are people, as a matter of fact, you had your priest or a priest of Kemet, Jabari himself, on here just a few days ago. You shouted out, rest in peace, Baba Heru, and all the Kemetic masters on here yesterday with the honk around their wrists and all over their body. They didn't just think it was just a man-made concept.
Yes, they do.
You even had hold on. You even had your great brother over here. Hold on. You had your beautiful brother not too long ago. The one, I can't think of his name. I don't want to talk about it, but the one that got bit by the snake. You had him on there with his, you had Tahuti, you had him over here the other not too long ago telling you that he believed that those people were real.
Brother, that's
that
him.
those natures was real. Hold on. My point is that you have people. My point is, Sonetta, that you have people who believe that their ankh around your neck has there's a reality to it.
Yeah,
that it holds.
They ain't got no power over what other people.
Hold on, but they believe it though. That's why they walked around. That's why you see. That's why That's why you got Jabari walking around with an ankh around his wrist right now, like a big bracelet. You know why? Because he believed there's a power. He believed there's a power in it. So the same reason why you claim you got it around your neck is different from the reason why he got it around his neck. Is the same thing we tell you when these Catholics use the Bible for their own particular gain. That wasn't what the Christians, the first Christians, believed. It wasn't what they used it for. They didn't use it to enslave people. They didn't use it to beat down black folks. See, this is what I'm saying. When y'all talk about stuff, y'all talk out to both sides of y'all neck. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's what I'm telling you, Asar Mkar. So you can't. I'm sorry, not Asar Mkar, but him too, if he was up here. But Asar 7. What I'm telling you guys is, y'all can't keep trying to crap on the spiritual beliefs that we find in the Bible, or the wisdom literature, or the didactic literature that we find in the biblical narrative. You can't keep crapping on it without crapping on the house of consciousness. Because you're built on a Kemetic spirituality. It's built on a Kemetic spirituality. So if you're gonna throw one, if you're gonna throw out one, if you're gonna trash one, you gotta trash it all.
Nobody's.
And you might as well just come out and say what we've been telling y'all for years. Y'all undercover atheists. Y'all don't believe in the higher power.
You believe what you want to believe. Every man.
Elder Yara, that whole rant you went on was just full of ignorance. Yeah, you shut up too, because I'm talking. That whole thing that you said was just full of ignorance, brother, because I don't shit on your religion. Only time you ever hear me speak on Christianity is when you try to speak on it like it's truth. And I have to come in here and tell you it's your belief. I respect everyone to have a belief. Your belief is your belief. How you practice it and what you want to do, long as it's not interrupting into my space, that I have no problem with that. So don't try to come up here bloviating on your belief and we secret atheists because you don't like how we telling you that what you believe is a belief. It's not fact. And when you come up here speaking like it's from fact, and I have to correct you and tell you a man made it and not no God, you get butthurt and make rants like that. So the fact is, and this is a fact, there's no God that came down here and gave any of that information that you call that's in any of those books that you read pertaining to your particular God. A man did. That's the only proof you have.
All right.
So,
Asar, that's great though. Well, real quick, Asar, that's great. But I'm telling you, if that's the logic that you're taking, you must take it for yourself as well.
We do.
When have I done? When have I not,
Hold on. Listen. Y'all
Your
sound
argument.
You sound
Yeah,
butthurt. What I'm
hold on,
saying,
one mic.
if you take that same logical pathway, then there's nothing that you claim that you believe in because you do have a belief. Because if you say you don't, and it's not just a belief, by definition, as we know it, that makes you an atheist.
Okay, all right. Now, I want to first say this before he go in. Yo, that was a mistake. He called your name by mistake. Cause soon as you called him, Yara, he popped in. So I just want to let him know. Fall back, Asar. He just made a mistake and called your name, brother. But you got the mic, man.
Yeah, mistake. You know I'm like candy, man. Except for it tastes sour in your mouth when I get the going. So
hey, Asar, because I know you know Diddy, nigga. Because I know you. No Diddy.
Yeah, no Diddy on that one, bro. No Diddy on that.
I'm gonna go back in the bushes and be courteous. But let me tell you this before I go. There's a slight difference. One, when you deal with being a Shimsu, the mythos cover scientific analogies in their early state. So you're getting descriptions of what the sun, what the moon, what the earth, what the people do in their early states and their descriptions. These become common state because the mythos describes what happens in science. So this is why you have what they call the solar religion, and you also have the or solar spirituality, and you have the commonplace where we deal with the ancestors directly. Christianity follows, Hebrews follow, and Muslims follow. You worship Jesus or you respect Jesus, but you venerate him. He's an ancestor. So you think he lived and you think he's coming back. And if he lived and you think he's coming back, you're venerating an ancestor. Same with Muhammad. There's no difference except for you copied, and some of what you say is not scientific because you didn't have the same plot, the same understanding of what's happening universally. And so that's what ours are based off of, universal truths that have become stories. And they're also based off of wars between different groups. The Shimsu Hor, the Shimsu Set, the Shimsu Aset, the Shimsu Asar. You don't have that history. You have a story that's made up off of our stories.
All right, Brother Gideon, you there?
Hold up one sec, Sal. Let me finish this.
I'm here, Sal. Go ahead, Sal.
This is why they go back in archaeology to the Egyptian sites to prove the Christian situation. Why are you in Egypt if you're a Christian?
Because that's where at that time that's where Christianity itself began. It only could be done during the time that Yahweh lived. And so that we see, as Pastor Bennett so eloquently pointed out, St. Mark, who we know lived in Alexandria, Egypt. We know he taught Christianity in Alexandria, Egypt. So what are you talking about? We know Christianity did not come out of Kemet, but we know Catholicism came out of Kemet. That's the problem that y'all always get wrong. Catholicism came out of Kemet. That's why the images are the same.
How about monotheism?
What about monotheism?
I'm saying you got to use some chronology, man. You just can't just be.
I can't say that monotheism didn't come out of Kemet.
No. What do scholars say who the first Christians were? Who were the first Christians?
I'm gonna go back in
the Israelites.
Watch that name.
The Israelites were the first Christians.
Yes.
So the scholars say the Israelites were the first Christians.
Yeah, go ahead, pick that up, Gideon.
Yeah, no doubt. Peace, brother Yara. Shalom, everybody. Peace, dog. What's going on, OG?
Peace.
Yeah, man. Peace. Yeah, what's going on? I see you. I see y'all, brother Suntan. But yeah, so this is what I want to say, man. First, give all praise to the Most High in the name of Yeshua. But first of all, we need to get this established. And I'm just saying we don't gotta debate this, but we all speaking on faith, whether we believe in evolution or creation. It's all faith. But the thing is, all of y'all are slick side atheists, like Yara was saying. Y'all like trying to straddle the fence. But the thing is, y'all building y'all whole reality off something the ancestors essentially wouldn't even say. So y'all saying that they didn't believe in the ants, like in spiritual things and godly things and netters and things like this, but they indeed believed in that. Y'all say it's man-made, so that's giving y'all license to man-make stuff about y'all mind.
Cedric,
And then
I'm letting you know. Can you define atheist real quick, brother Cedric?
I think Cedric's dropped off.
I mean, brother Gideon. I meant to say Gideon. Can you define atheist, brother Gideon?
yeah, atheist is a person that does not believe in a creator. They don't believe in an intelligent designer.
Okay, now I asked you that because, brother, if I was an atheist, I would say I'm an atheist. I'm not an atheist, brother.
Well, you believe in evolution, sir. Even if you won't tell us you do, you don't.
I don't believe in evolution. I know evolution is real.
Okay, so
I know it, but I don't want to cut you off. I'm just trying to tell you that I'm not an atheist, brother.
Right.
Not an atheist. Yeah.
So if you believe in evolution,
go on with your speak,
right.
brother. Go ahead.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like y'all understanding contradicts the whole basis of what y'all coming and what y'all saying. It's like if you believe in evolution, you do not believe in an intelligent designer. Some people might tell you there's some type of micro evolution or macro. You do have micro in certain species, but they will never expand past that species. So you cannot believe in evolution, sir, and believe in an intelligent designer. So like you said, we're not even much going to debate that, but that's what logic tells me. But this is also like this is what I want to say also. I can understand why a lot of y'all brothers are atheists, because if I was to believe what y'all believe, that the Bible was written by the white man or that it has no place with us and it was forced on us, I would be an atheist too, because I know it's no power in the Eloise of the voodoo culture. It's all a delusion. We know it. Even the Most High says it by the prophet Isaiah. All those gods are a delusion and it's confusion. It has no power in them. So to all these brothers, I can understand why y'all would then say, oh, it's just man-made, it's not real. The other brother was saying, if the white man would have gave us our religion, you can't give nobody religion. Religion is power. How can somebody give you power to overpower them? So what they did was they kept the Bible from us. That was the tool that if they caught us reading, that we would be punished by. It wasn't the book of the dead or none of that, because as y'all know, those gods, they didn't pass the test. And what's the test? The test of time. So I can understand why y'all atheists, because y'all intelligent enough to see that Ra, men, taught, Shango, none of those gods, they didn't do nothing for us in the slavery. But like Pastor Bennett and Yara was saying, everything that we got, a reason why a lot of us here through the slavery, through Jim Crow, is because of the church. The church was the only foundation. It wasn't no temple of Ra that we can go to and get relief from the oppressor. So yeah, I understand why y'all atheists, because the Egyptian gods, the West African gods, the only God is the God of Africa, the God of Israel, and that's Yahweh. So that's all I'm gonna say.
All right, Jose Francis,
on
man.
that one, son.
Jose Francis, man.
Yeah.
Hold on, brother. I want you to get the mic, brother. Bring some energy. Don't come in weak, brother. Go ahead. Let's go.
Sarnetta, these guys are up here talking, but you can tell they don't. You can tell they're not reading the text properly. Because Yara just talked about animism, and he talked about animals. Animism means you give life to things such as trees and rocks. Animism has nothing to do with that. And Gideon is sickening. He just talking. At least Elder Yara have some sort of foundation. Maybe he doesn't read as much Kemetic literature as I would like him to read. But Gideon is talking. He needs to read something and stop talking. He has no foundation on what he is talking.
Which part? When I was asking what a God said?
At least Yara has read something to be able to say something. I don't agree with everything he's saying, but I'm not putting him in the same category with Gideon. Gideon just talks, and he's getting on my nerves.
Well, show me where
Clearly
Sean
hasn't read
go.
anything.
Where
Shango
they
was a
at?
real person, but you don't know that because you didn't read. You
Right.
don't
So
know
where
that.
he at when he was deified? Why he didn't
You
come on the
don't know.
slave
Why
ships
don't you
with
read
that
a book
mighty
and stop
sword and
talking?
slice off the heads of the oppressor?
You're talking too much. You
What
don't
was
know that he
Papa?
did that
What
because
was
you didn't
Papa
read.
Legba at?
Hold
Because you
on,
didn't
hold on,
read. You
get
don't
in, get
read, so
in.
you don't know.
He let you talk. You can't be
He
talking
doesn't
over him. Get in.
read because he don't know. So he has nothing to say. He don't know. He can't talk about it. He has no historical foundation. He's historically illiterate. He's just talking. Go and read something and then come back and talk. At least Yahweh has read something. You're just talking this biblical foolishness. So stop it. Don't come out here yelling and asking me what they did. Our ancestors knew enough from our culture to be able to poison these people. They knew that. They wasn't just praying like you are. So stop talking and listen. You're talking too much. You always come on and you have nothing to contribute.
I hear a lot of ad hominems, man. I don't really hear you saying anything, man, in regards to what Gideon was bringing out at all.
He didn't bring out nothing,
Yo,
so I
man.
have nothing to
Y'all
respond
funny.
to. I have nothing to respond to because he didn't bring out nothing. He didn't
Well,
say
let me
anything.
bring this out since you didn't want to answer, because I didn't make no statements when I was talking to you. I asked you all questions. So if you judge somebody's scholarship off questions they ask, that
Repeat the
shows the
question.
incompetence of your comprehension.
Repeat the question.
I
Repeat the
asked
question.
you where all these Eloahs, where all these spirits, where are all these gods from West Africa? I tell you where they at. I've been told you where they at. They know where they dung. They're
How do
dust.
you know?
Because I'm
How
over
do
here.
you know?
I'm over here. That's why I know.
So where's your God?
Matter of fact, some of them in their
Where's your God?
name, I was giving up in their name.
Why don't you? Something wrong with you, you know?
Right.
Something's really wrong with you, bro.
Yeah, there was this
You really
village in
cancer.
Africa. There was this village in Africa where they had a festival where the women would supposedly be possessed by these Eloahs. And during that time of possession, their husband would have to give them whatever they asked. And they would go into a state of almost delusion, and they will all huddle up at the priest's house. And the priest would then tell the husband what the wife is demanding from them in the name of those gods. You know what happened, Si?
What happened?
A European came over there, and during all of that that was happening at that time, that white boy grabbed that woman, and you know what snapped out of her?
What?
All that LOI, all that craziness, all that madness, she snapped out of it and she became a normal woman, showing that that was all a hoax. You see what I'm saying? And it was another situation in the book of, I forgot, where it was a similar event. And the husband told her, if she don't snap out of it, he's going to give her to a slaver. And you know what she did? She snapped out of it. The priest was mad because it stopped their hustle. So all that's a hustle. It's only one God. It's only one priesthood. Right now it's the priesthood of Melchizedek. We not running with none of these ankhs. We not fisting these ankhs like Jabari be doing, because they say that's the pathway of life. So we not disrespecting nothing like that, bro. So I'm asking you, my brother, where are these West African gods, bro?
Where's your God? That's my question. Where was your God when we were being
He was in the
indigenous?
Congo. He was in the Congo in the
What?
13th century,
Be
several hundred
quiet.
centuries before the white man
Wow.
even got there. He was in
Facts.
Something wrong
Egypt.
with you, bro.
He was in Yemen. He was in
Something wrong with
Ethiopia.
you, bro.
He
Something
was
wrong
in
with you.
Ghana. He was all
No.
over, my brother, and he's still here.
Facts. Facts.
He
No.
told us we'll
No.
be here in his condition.
No.
Why
No.
your gods just
There
like
is no word for God in the ancient African language.
what the creator of all
Show
things.
me one.
That's why I was telling
The
y'all right.
creator of all
Show me
things.
one.
That's what I
We
told y'all
know
right
you can't
earlier.
show me one.
Thank you.
That's
We know
false.
you
We
can't
can
There
show
is a
that in the
belief in one
Ge'ez.
God. There is a belief in one God in West Africa.
That's
But
why
that
I
There
told
is no
him.
word for God.
That's why I told him that our people ain't know nothing about no God until the Bible, and that's where they learn about God. I told them that. You can't go to Kemet and find a God, brother.
Yes, you can. Is that what you think? What do you think the word? What do you think the word net? What do you think the word netaru means, bro?
Right.
It means God.
They was talking about the netter.
It
Right.
means
See, y'all go to
God.
confusing stuff.
What
So
were you
y'all
talking
try to go to
about?
confusing people, say they
It
God
means
and
God.
The
yeah,
white
come
man
on,
made
bro.
the word God. He did that.
No, he did not.
Listen. The Europeans came in with a concept of God, and they gave you their concept of God. This is God. Leave that Kemetic stuff alone, and that's what y'all doing. Leave
Right. Their
alone,
concept. Their
and that's what
concept is
y'all
not the
doing.
concept
So
found in the Bible.
we
Yeah,
call
we reject that concept, son. You know
It's
that.
not the concept found in the Bible. Why do y'all keep saying that?
we call him God. We call him Jesus. We call him the Holy Ghost, and we call him Yahweh. And that's what y'all call him today. See, that's the European trick. He got
That is not a European trick, Sonetta. What? So in the Ephod divination system, what do they call God?
There is no word for God.
right.
Listen to what I'm saying. There is. You're
No,
lying
there
when you
isn't.
say that.
There
Because
isn't.
what you're talking about, hey, listen, what you're talking about is transliteration versus translation. There is. Hold on. This is the problem you guys have, right? When y'all start making these really elementary arguments,
When you take
right?
from his God, you
It's
take.
called an etymological fallacy,
Yeah,
side, what y'all
that's
doing.
all that it is. Exactly. And so when you do that, it's a bad argument. They very much had a concept of a divine being, a divine cosmology. And especially, and this is what I wanted to say to Brother Towers before he got off. Even if you forget the European system, right? If you take the Ephod divination system, even Olodorare didn't get in the business of mankind. Let them tell it.
That's
He
true.
didn't interfere. So you know what Olodoware did? He watched slavery happen. I don't see y'all coming on here banging against that African God. See, this is what I'm saying when y'all come on here with this foolishness, man. Y'all have to
The
stop
man
doing this.
said,
If you're gonna
I'm
do,
talking foolishness on that. He still has not shown
if
me
show you
where
what?
Neteru means God. He can't show me that concept because it didn't
Are you
exist.
serious? Hey, Sonetta, do
Netta
I
is
have to come on here? Can me and
Netta is
Gideon
not
come
what
on
is
here?
visible.
Can me and Gideon come on here and do a presentation and show you
Hell
that
yeah.
Netta
that
is
it
not what is
means that it's the
visible being.
equivalent? It is the equivalent of the
No,
definition
it is
of a
not.
god or
No, it is not.
Jose,
God.
is there
No, it
any
isn't.
is it
God
because
is
you're just
outside
one
of
tradition in Africa? What is your
God
tradition?
is out. God is outside of me.
What is your tradition, Jose?
I don't
You're probably
practice
a
any.
Sephardic Jew
Hold
if
on,
that
hold on,
name is
hold on.
passed down in your family. But
Hold on.
what's your tradition?
I don't practice any particular spiritual tradition.
That-
Since you
hey,
asked me
Okay,
the
so
I
question,
told you.
there's hundreds of traditions in Africa, but let me ask you this. In all of those traditions, right, that are varied, there's no creator of all things. In Egyptian tradition, there's no creator of all things in those traditions.
yes,
Okay, see, that's why I say it's an
but can I
etymological
finish?
fallacy. And
Can I
that's why,
finish?
like,
Can I
well,
finish?
everything you're saying is disingenuous. So
Can
now I
I
just gotta
finish?
watch what you say now. But go
Can I
ahead.
finish? You have never read the text to understand. It said Ra created himself from the noon, which is the watery universe, and he created man and other deities from himself. Ra is a representation of the universe. It's not some spooky being that popped out of nowhere. When you don't read and understand the text, you're arguing and you're yelling for no reason. You don't know.
It's several creation stories in Egyptian
Several creation stories.
tradition.
And what's your point? I just quoted one.
Why
My
you pick
point.
the one you pick?
What's your point? That's the
Why
one
did
I
you choose?
read. That's the
Why?
one I read.
Why you
I
didn't
can't
read
come
the
up.
others?
Well, brother, I didn't get around to reading them yet. You want me to lie and tell you something?
Right.
You
But
want me to
my
lie?
point,
Exactly our
my
point.
point, Jose,
You
is
want me to lie?
it's all fallacy. It all was fake. Y'all know it's fake now, but they didn't think it was fake then. They thought those gods were real. They thought their creation story was real, but
Who
it's
told you
not.
that?
The test of time they didn't
Who
have,
told
but
you
y'all
that?
have it. So
Who
through the
told you
test
that?
of time, y'all see these stories of
Who
fake,
told
but
you
y'all see
that?
the Most High still here. Matter of fact, he has the #1 selling book of all time. So, when you look at the evidence and the data, it's no God but the Most High.
So let
And
me
he
ask you.
said that himself.
So hold
But go
on. So
ahead.
let me ask you a question. So let me ask you a question. If you find 10,000 people in the world that smoke crack, that makes it right? So just
What, to
because a
sell
bunch
it
of
to them?
so hold on. So just because a bunch of people are doing something, that makes it right? That makes it
Wait,
right?
repeat
That's your
that?
argument?
Repeat
So
that?
that makes it right? I said
That makes it right?
if
Nah, no,
10,000
it don't.
people smoke and
It
buy
don't.
crack, that makes it right because
Of
10,000
course,
people smoke and
of
bought
course,
crack?
of course not, man. I'm a human, you. Of course not.
Right. So just because somebody's buying into something, that don't make it right. That makes it possible.
No, that ain't. But that's not what we're concerned about. We want to deal with the dealer. We want to deal with who's selling the crack,
You are
and
the
that's
crack
what
dealer
y'all
right
come
now.
up. And that's what y'all come
You
up
are the
here and
crack
do.
dealer.
And y'all trying to
For
sell us
he's a
crack
jolly
dealers
good fellow,
as
Y'all,
for
if
he's a
as
jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny, which nobody can
you are like the
deny,
crack dealer right
which
now.
nobody can deny. For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny.
All right. I want to say thank everybody for coming on. And Elder Yara, Black Sage, and Brother Gideon, y'all the jolly good fellow tonight. Y'all did. Y'all get
so
the jolly good fellow award. But nah, man, on a serious note, Yara, you came in and you did your thing. But you see, Inky ran. Inky couldn't take the pressure. He ran. And I'm gonna say peace and blessings to everybody in here, man. Thank y'all for coming through. Any last words, Brother Yara?
Hey, shout out to you, Senator, always, man, for putting on a great show, man, and bringing us positive content. It's much needed in this space. And again, shout out to Pastor Bennett. Shout out to Brother Towers that came on. Shout out to my brother Gideon Israel, man. It's always a pleasure, man, to hear your scholarship, man. I'm trying to tell y'all can't hang with Gideon one-on-one. I've seen it with my own eyes. I hear it. Y'all like to pick and choose who y'all like on these panels, but y'all ain't going up head to head with my man Gideon.
Yeah,
That's just
Gideon,
foolish.
Gideon became strong last year. He was weak last time, but he came on strong.
Man, nah, man. I've always
A
known
lot
Gideon to
better, a lot better. And
be
of
a
course,
power, man.
y'all can't deal with my man Seven Asar, man. I'm gonna
Man,
just
hey, man, listen, man. Seven Asar is like you ever seen
Seven
them look?
Asar is
You ever
fire,
seen them
bro.
memes, Sarnetta, when they have you when they had these grown voices with the little baby pictures now, the little
Yeah,
AI images, they little babies. That's what Seven Asar is, but he still got the baby voice with his baby image. He's just a little baby, man. Seven Asar he's just a little baby, man.
It's all good, brother. It's all good, Elder Yara.
But peace
I know you
to
like to
Asar, man. Peace
try
to
to
Asar.
poke at me. It's all good, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's all
peace to
respect.
Asar. Peace to you, Seven.
Yes,
yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. It's
Hey,
all respect to everybody on the panel. You know what I'm saying? Everybody on here is intelligent. Everybody on here always brings the information, and I always got to thank Sonetta for bringing this platform and enabling for these minds to speak on these issues and
yeah,
to
thank you.
educate us and try to
Right.
create solutions. So
It makes
I appreciate all of you all, and
it makes us evolve, brother. And I appreciate
yes,
Thank you.
Yara, Gideon, everybody. Without everybody agreeing on the same thing. When we come together and do this, I just get more knowledge. That's all to it.
and despite what we may not agree on, we all brothers. You know what I'm saying? I'll be there for y'all if y'all need me, and I hope vice versa, because we have to be a community here. Because nobody is gonna take care of us unless we take care of each other,
Hey,
Right.
no
right?
doubt, no doubt, no
All
doubt.
right.
So,
Right.
And
And I
with
know
that,
and
y'all,
God
I'll
gonna
close
give
right
me a
there.
lot.
and with that, I'm gonna say peace, man.
Peace.
You are going to be held responsible for every word that come out of your mouth.
I thought he